Aqui, gente, ó. Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blade, aqui, ó. Olha aqui. Acabou de baixar. Baixou agorinha aqui no Córrego Blade. Aqui, gente, ó. Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blade, aqui, ó. Olha aqui. Acabou de baixar. Baixou agorinha aqui no Córrego Blade. Aqui, gente, ó. Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blade, aqui, ó. Olha aqui. Acabou de baixar. Baixou agorinha aqui no Córrego Blade. Aqui, gente, ó. Acabou de baixar aqui no Córrego Blade. Olha aqui. Acabou de baixar. Baixou agorinha aqui no Córrego Blade.
Okay, what are we looking at here? Few of you have actually seen a clip of this before, probably. But what we're looking at here is there are people. That's a hillside. I don't have the original footage, which I wish I did because the resolution would be better. But there's somebody standing over here filming, and they're looking over there towards those lights, and there are people standing under those lights. And then the question will come as to what are the lights that we're looking at, and I'll explain to you exactly what they are and how it all works. This is ultimately going to be one of the themes of this particular episode. And so let's go ahead and watch the video through, and then I'll come back and we'll talk some more here in just a moment. I'm going to put you full screen, get rid of my mug, and then yeah, so you can see the whole video here. Pay attention. Well, I'll show you. You're not going to be able to hear much audio on this. You might hear a little mumbling or something, but there wasn't good audio. It's the imagery, though, is what we need to understand. It's supernatural. Okay, you've seen a second light up here. There was one, and then there's two. And you're going to notice here in a second there are people standing right under those lights. And then I'm going to explain to you what are these lights. Okay.
Al parecer estas esferas parecen pertenecientes a una orden lumínica o bien llamados mensajeros espirituales.
I'm going to mute that. Well, possible some of you speak Spanish, but I'll mute the audio. So you can see that there's people there. Okay. And what are we looking at? Let's back up for a second. I want to show you something. It's right here. You're going to see in these couple of clips, you're going to see, let's see, everybody still hear me, right? Filmed in the nighttime sky, and these are balls of light. Some people call them orbs. There's a lot of names that are throughout history that have been called. But the truth behind what they actually are is another matter. What you're looking at is a deity. Okay? So what? You could call it an angel. Okay? What you're looking at is a deity of light. The book of Enoch says that angels are bright white and round all about. Ezekiel said that they look like a wheel inside of a wheel. Okay? And
remember that part. The wheel within a wheel. It looks like a millstone. The same thing happened with the sun. I'm going to show you that. The same thing happened with Venus. That happened just recently. It was looking like it had like a millstone effect, like a wheel within a wheel, where it's like a hollow point that looks like a circle in the middle. The same thing happens here. In this video, I've noticed in some of the things in it. And then wait till I get to the Ten Sons. You'll see it real strong there. And then these things that you don't see under typical illumination that are around the sun. And it's like I told you about the Ten Sons in that anime. And that anime is based around me and stuff. I told you it was actually probably a lot more than 10 cents. I've seen a lot of things, and you're gonna see. I'm gonna get to that in a little while.
There are other places where you can go look up and find out that people have recognized throughout history, and the elites of this world know this. It's this. And watch how that you'll see a little flash. See that little flash right out in front? You get a little pulse of light, and then they appear. What that is it's a spark, and it's the piercing of the veil. Okay? They pierce the veil, then they come on our side where we can see them and observe them. And me personally, I've seen these. Here's another clip of the same thing. This is up in the sky being filmed, and it flashes out front, a little spark, and then poof, there goes your deity. There's your angels. I've seen this in excess of over 50 times. And the angel-wise, how many of them I've seen is over 100. But I've had at least 50 different occasions where I've been to the beach, because it's always by the water's edge. And not always. For me, it's been almost always by the water's edge and at nighttime. Okay?
Sunrise,
Right
sunset.
after the sun sets, go to a large body of water.
Right before.
Right after the sun sets, and
Not after.
and watch out over the water. What you'll see if you watch with your peripheral vision is you'll see the sparks flashing around. If they're there, the sparks will be flashing around. And then if they choose, they'll show up just like this. See, you can see the sparks happen on this video here. See it? That was the spark. Boom, there it is now. And now there's people standing right under it. I've never had an angel come this close to me, because this is very, very, very.
Yeah, I've had them close. I was in my last location, and the angel said, it told me, you're gonna be delivered, from that situation. And it said it really strange. It started off real slow, slower than anybody I know would ever speak, and then it sped up over the 4 words to the point where, like, it sped up from the first word to the second word, and then the third and the fourth were like one, like faster than anybody could ever say a word, faster than any rapper or anything. And it was like, you're gonna be delivered, yeah, I saw it right up on me, and it was real strong. It wasn't negative or fearful like the other entities are, like the ones on the evil side, that try and paralyze you. This thing had me held down with just like force, like power. It had like this power about it that kind of held me down instead. But I was able to force my head to look at it. I could force my head to turn and look at it. And yeah, I think that's also symbolic of how really we don't have much of a body, like when we think we're turning our head, we're not really turning our head. The only thing that's really changing is like our perception, because it's like a hologram. We think we're looking around, but it's like a TV screen. The TV screen ain't really moving. It's just what is on the TV screen. It's like a projection.
Very close. They're literally 5-10 feet above them in the air. See, whoever it is running the camera zooms in here. You can see the 2 people standing.
Oh yeah, the angel is just really bright, and really couldn't tell his skin tone. Looked kind of Middle Eastern, and yeah, it was just really bright and all that. That's basically what I wanted to say.
I've had them come as close as, say, 20 feet to me, but not 10. And they're absolutely amazing in all the different things that they can do, that they have shown me that they can do, including produce lightning out of them into the ocean, into the water. I've seen a bolt of lightning come out of one, strike the water. When they fly over you or fly around really fast, they leave pixie dust in the air, like Tinkerbell kind of stuff. They put a lot of truth out there about these things, right there in our face, how close they are. They put it right in our face, but they lie to us, they deceive us, they don't tell us the truth. I'm here, and the supernatural show is here to tell you the truth. And if we don't know the truth, that's what we're seeking, is the truth. We want the truth. You get it? We want to know the truth. You see the image behind me, that's also a supernatural. See it? That is what some people would call a full sun halo. What it is an eye. It's an eye. It's a fourth or fifth.
Dimensional eye. You might be right. There's a lot of evidence that we're inside of a big eye, but it's basically a firmament that is inside of a firmament that is inside of a firmament that is inside of another firmament, and you get the drift, right? It's like a Russian doll. Like, you go inside of the Russian doll, it's a smaller Russian doll, pretty much identical to the bigger Russian doll, but smaller, and usually a little bit more intricate, like more high fractal pattern. And then within that, you'll see like infinite other ones, and like read the Mendelbrot, all that. This goes back to what did Tesla mean by, you'll know the secrets of the universe and all that sorts of things, and the great power of the universe and the mysteries and all that sort of stuff. If you understand frequency, energy and vibration or something like that. And then the other one were these numbers, 3, 6, and 9. You can figure out the secrets of those, you pretty much got it. And that's got to do with the fractal nature of the universe. This is Mason's fractal pattern called the Mendelbrot. And the frequency of stuff has to do with my birthday, which has to do with the number 432. And the frequency of love and all that kind of stuff. But it's also a fractal. It's showing you, because fractals are like that. Like they go towards absolute infinity, which is like this point of infinity at a small point, combined into a very small point. And it's kind of like Gojo and Jujutsu Kaisen or something like that. When you come towards them, you interact with limitless. Basically, it's like they don't want to think it's like infinite. They basically, the closer you get, it's basically you're getting closer and closer to zero. But it's like you're getting really, really slow. It's not that I'm getting faster. It's just you're getting really, really slow relative to me. Because the closer you get, then you're like closer in my zone, and you're relatively, you're so much smaller. You're like an ant, like in my eye, like it's like you're nothing to me. But there's people that are probably like great in their world or whatever in their eyes, but to me they're like nothing, like I don't even see it. It's the same thing in the anime I'm going to show you in a sec. It's like this person thought they were psychically strong, but they were like nothing to him. Like he didn't even notice their psychic aura when they were trying to like test him to see if he was psychic. He luckily, it's like another one of my things is luck. He luckily basically, because that's a part of the spiritual power, it will align you up, like one way or another. It's a psychic type of thing. It's basically like being the author and stuff like that. Let me just let this go on now.
If the atmospheric conditions get perfect, we can actually see the eye.
Oh yeah, the eye. Don't let me get going on that, man. But I'm not going to get into that. That's extremely deep. I've already explained that a million times. But really, we're inside of, could be like an eye shape, but it very well is, because I've seen the angels and stuff manifesting in my vision as I rest, because that's why they're afraid of me resting. Just like with the guy in the anime, like when he rests, he's on the other side accessing all information through the Akashic records. That's what it's called, Akashic records. It's like basically in the dream world, you know how when you dream you just know stuff, I think it's in partitions, but when you're God, when you're on that side of things, it's not like really out of your reach at all, especially if you're the one literally doing it. I didn't even know it. I was making an amplifier for the opening in heaven and God and all this stuff, and doing the outpouring of the Spirit and making everybody in the heavens stronger and humanity grow up as calves and jumping, rejoicing out of a stall. and burning the wicked down to ashes, the Son of Righteousness said it would. You know, there's several sons up there, you know, and several angels, you know, because even the Son is having his wheels within the wheels. Look, you know, where it's an angel, you know, it's the power of God. But, you know, let me just kind of get into this to get this over. But basically, we're inside of a concave earth. There's a lot more going on with the eye, like I said. I saw the angels appear and all that. That's why they're afraid of me. But that's also why he's constantly trying to get stronger. Because whenever he gets stronger, it would change the future. It's the same thing. Like, I do these things and I notice it changes the past, the present, and the future. It was like it was always like that. It's like a Mandela effect. And, you know, it's like, it's really strange. So, like, I would just do things and see how it affects things. And that's how I was confidently telling you I was going to stop the forest fires. And there's been this endless rain to stomp out the forest fire smoke and also to put out the forest fires. This could be the locust of the bottomless pit, though, just projecting the smoke. Because that's really all it is. It's like a projection, everything here. And that's why the angels could shapeshift and mix in with Cain. As it says in the book of Enoch, you know, they could shapeshift. That's why he said they when they move real fast, they have like this fairy dust or these little particles they leave behind them. It's because, you know, like, it's like they're one with the universe. Like, so like they can transcend time and space because they're like one with it. It's like it's like moving from their arm. To go from one part of heaven to the other, it's like moving their arm, you know what I mean? It's like they're a part of it. And, you know, depending on how powerful they are, you know, like the more powerful they are, the more of an archangel they'll be, and they'll be like a source of power for the other ones. But we're in this concave earth, like I told you, the Russian dolls and all that, and you're going to see that in this video because it's going to show you the sun effect. I forget, yeah, it's when he's showing the eclipse, and you'll see the outline of the heaven. It's showing you that's usually when the eclipses, not eclipse, yeah, it's when those eclipses happen. It's when the sun and the moon and all this stuff align up with the firmament above, you know, and the firmament just kind of blocks, has this effect or something, but this also has to do with something else, I believe, that's aligning up with it.
Say, fourth or fifth dimension.
That's the eye. No, let me get back into this. It loads quicker, I notice, when I'm already in here. Because it doesn't have to load the background stuff.
But if you happen,
you see how I'm already in here? Watch how quick it loads now.
They say
much
that
better.
The solar eclipse occurs when the moon stands between the Earth and the Sun.
If I had
covering the exact circumference.
If I had like minus this, instead of like just going from max, it would have been so long. Like, but yeah, you can see all these other. These are the wheels within the wheels. Remember, he was talking about how they edited it.
Of these orbs being stains on the window of the plane is
No.
ruled out when we analyze the images.
They move too.
These green and red lines, and we see that the orbs move in relation to the sun.
Yep.
While the spots in the airplane window do not move at all. So they are clearly two objects in a different space. The orbs are in the sky next to the sun. So
yeah, it's multi-dimensional.
In contrast to the spots inside the plane.
The multi-dimensional ones don't like. Some of them don't move, but some of them do. And the sun basically just reveals them, but they're complex. Remember when they first started coming in? I believe I triggered it. One of the seals or something. They came in as rain. They rained in, and they pretended to be rain, but they were like an optical illusion. Remember, they can shapeshift. Their cloaking ability is amazing. They can literally fall as rain. You look at them as rain, but it's really a hologram. It's this really big object that's falling. That's huge, and it falls, and it looks like a tree when it falls, because it's playing with your perspective the whole time. It's like, it's really big and far away, but when it gets close, it keeps its perspective, so it looks like a raindrop. But you can see it at its maximum distance as something that, like, it's like too big. You know what I mean? Like imagine how big a raindrop is, but it's when it's up close. But imagine if it was really 1,000, like, you know, like 100 miles away, you know, or 50. Imagine how big it would be if it's really looking like a raindrop at 50 miles away, you know? That's a big object. And so they would do that. They would fall in, and then they would cloak into the trees and everything around based on my perspective. They were like, it was like a psychic effect. Uh, they know how to master essence in some very, very amazing ways. And then they showed up on the cameras. And they showed up on a whole bunch of cameras as this daggone, these dark marks. These really dark marks. And like they were clear as day. And I was like, where the hell did these come from? Because I was watching all the cameras. I was like, where the hell did these come from, you know? And that's what it was. It was like, man, it's the visible and invisible twin and all this other stuff. It's crazy. Way more than 10 suns. I've seen them, like, scary, bro. I tried to hide in the tub when I saw how many there really were. That was before I knew about the shape of the earth and the concave. Look, you can see it right here. I forgot. Look. You see how there's like this ball above? Look. I'm talking about right in between the earth and this darkness above where the light is creeping through. You see how the light's creeping through there? And the further to the side you go, the more open it is, but it still makes a ball shape. That's because the further you get to the side of a ball, it curves up, you see? It's curving up. And the sun is attached to it, so it's illuminating it. But you can't see the light of the sun on this side because the ball is blocking it. But it goes all the way around it because there's as the ball, as you go to the sides of the ball, it goes up. So it's starting to go up on the sides of the ball to the right and to the left of the sun. So the light goes through, but then it goes up on the other side because of reflections, showing that it's actually a ball on both sides. You see, it's a ball. It's crazy, right? That's how you get your 24-hour sun at the South Pole and the North Pole. That's impossible on a flat or globe.
The television networks that broadcasted these images showed edited recordings. They edited the black orbs out.
You see that in the middle, though, that lighthouse showing that ball above. That's why it gets black up there. There's an actual object up there blocking it. Remember the Russian dolls? So it's like we're looking down at Earth. If we were, if pretend that's a globe below us, but it's heaven. You know what I mean? It's like the opposite of what they said. And it spins. That's why it looks so, like, if you ever tried to map the constellations, it's crazy. Because it's this big, giant ball. That's the real shape of the Earth, man. You can see the fire of the sun, like, going all along it. You can see the constellations being shaped by it. They're shaped by that thing because they're all inside of that firmament. It's crazy.
Out of the original recording. The existence of these non-luminescent orbs
and there's those too
has been corroborated for thousands of years by astronomers and observers. In the report of the Council of the Royal Astronomical Society,
you see the sun illuminating
in June of 1850, it was written that we must seriously doubt that the moon is the only satellite of the Earth. In the report of the Academy of Sciences on October 12th of 1846, and again in August of 1947, you see?
And of course, August, like, what was that, 1947 or something like that? It was something like all of me. But look, it's the wheels within the wheels, you see? The great millstones. Even the extra suns, they also have it.
The director of one of the French observatories showed a series of calculations and observations that led him to conclude the following. There is at least one non-luminescent celestial body of considerable size attached to the Earth as a satellite. The astronomer and mathematician Sir John Herschel admitted that
Look
there
at 'em.
are invisible moons in the firmament. Another astronomer and mathematician, Jean Lubbock, thought so as well, and even showed formulas for calculating their distance.
A lot of them
There
are
are
around the
invisible
sun.
moons in the firmament.
A lot of them are around the sun, but most of it's around the sun. But the sun and the earth are one. They're the same thing, and the moon as well. That's why you can see the constellations in the moon. Like, not constellations, the continents. The continents in all the moons, in the moon. You'll see it in that. And then it's actually, like, for example, we literally had 10 sunspots on the sun. Remember how I told you about the 10 suns? That's just how God does it, man. His info aligns perfectly. So there's no mistaking it. It's fractal. Look at this shit, man. There's so many of these things around,
Attached to
The
the
sun.
Earth as a satellite.
but it's all around the
The
earth too.
astronomer
Mostly
and
around the earth.
mathematician
It's all
Sir
the same
John
thing, though.
Herschel admitted that there are invisible
Look at that.
moons in the firmament. Another astronomer and mathematician, Jean Lubbock, thought so as well, and even showed formulas for calculating their distances. At the reunion of the British Association for the Advancement of Science in 1850, the president said the following: "The view is gaining popularity, for the stars were accompanied by large orbs that never emitted light. The best astronomer of our time sent me a letter in July of 1844. He said, 'I continue to believe that Procyon and Sirius are really double stars,
It's twins.
and that each is made up of a visible and invisible star.' Painstaking research at Königsberg by Peter Sauber
Wheels within
supports
wheels,
the
see?
belief that there
Saw that wheels within wheels. Look at that. It's the full power, man.
Peter Sauber supports the belief that there are invisible stars in the sky. Johann
You see it
Heinrich
spinning?
Lambert, a mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and philosopher, wrote that there are large, dark cosmic bodies. The existence of these non-luminescent orbs in
You
the
see?
sky has been widely documented.
That's why it spins so differently, you know, depending on where you are on the earth. It's because we got this ball above us. Depending on where you're at, it's totally different. Totally different. That's how you get the 24-hour sun at the South and the North Pole, and why the stars of the North and the South, they never move. They just spin. They spin it because the ball is inside of the earth. It just spins. If we were in a globe, the tilt would change that, you know? It would move. It wouldn't just spin. But since we're inside of the concave earth and the heaven is above us spinning, you can get a South Pole star that never moves because it's just spinning at the bottom of the ball. And then you can get a North Pole star spinning constantly and never tilting, you know? The only thing that moves is the sun, and the wandering planets, and most of the ones that follow the sun. And it goes north to south because it's related to the beginning, which is actually that what you call the Milky Way. This is giant comet that basically pulled everything north to south and south to north, and that's what you're seeing right there. And then the Earth and everything starting to manifest, which is related to the sun and the moon and Mercury. As it started to manifest, it pulled everything into these rings and stuff like that, where like cycles are showing different realms, different firmaments of Earth and heaven. You know, each one is like a whole nother ring.
Documented over the centuries. However, the elite hide the truth from us and instead show us computer graphics, a technique that obviously no longer works with people who have woken up.
Well, unfortunately, my friend, this is actually reality what they're showing. It's just isn't far away. And for example, there were 2 eclipses in one day on this thing. It's 2 in one day. That shouldn't have happened, according to their bullshit. You know, it doesn't matter how you move it around. It's not going to get another eclipse in the same spot. And in the amount of time it took, it like basically flip-flopped, which is impossible in the little time it was. It's like they both happened within like just like a little bit of like a couple of hours of each other. It's because it's multiple objects by the sun. It's not rocket science. Really just not.
Good night. People who follow my channel will already know that the government agency of NASA is a big fraud.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's just a setup. In the case of eclipses, all they offer us is a false explanation of reality.
You see the concave
about
Earth?
how they are formed, and record.
See? That's the ball above. Look at the Earth, flat. Earth's perfectly flat. You see that? Let me zoom in for you. I don't know the shiny lens, but it looks flat as hell to me right here. Look at the Earth. It looks perfectly flat. But look at the firmament above. It's a ball. It's clearly a ball. Undeniably. It's just a spinning in it. It's so freaky, bro. Like when I see it, knowing it like I know it, it's crazy. And then it's also mental. Like you can have a mentally skewed version of Earth literally based on what you believe. I believe that's possible. Could literally affect your reality in a way. Alright, so oh yeah, let me show you. We actually show you the sixth sun. Not the sixth sun, the 10 suns, remember? All these suns and stuff by it.
British Association
Those are right here.
mathematician John Lubbock thought so as well.
This looks so cool.
He even showed formulas for calculating their distances. At the reunion of the British Association for the Advancement of Science in 1850, the president said the following: "The view is gaining popularity, for the stars were accompanied by large orbs that never emitted light. The best astronomer of our time."
Let me show you these real quick. It's the beginning of time. It was like this star that went through the sun and stuff. That's one camera. Let me show you how fucked up your world is, bro. Like, remember I told you perception is everything? Like, some people literally just won't even be in the same world as you. Look. Watch this camera. It doesn't see it. It doesn't see any of this shit. B sees everything. And that's why they destroyed it, or it got destroyed by that world. Because that world is like, there's multiple worlds, bro. I'm trying to tell you. That's the comet that began and ended everything. Looks like just a fucking scary, hyper big comet right there. Bigger than anything there is. But this one sees it how it really is. You see? And this, not just this. The other one doesn't see this invisible planet go through the sun. I don't know, maybe it's because of NASA editing shit. Maybe they couldn't edit this one. You know? But I'm trying to tell you, your perception and your beliefs really does fuck with what you see. Like, if you just don't believe in reality and all that shit, you might have a hell of a wake up call when you die, but you might not. You never know. It's strong. Like the strength of belief is powerful. Look at this. You see, it just like redid all the beginning in like no time. You see how it spins everything south to north? It wasn't doing that at first. It was like going the other way. And it was doing it in a very like unorganized fashion. Like there were no orbits. There still are no orbits. They're just in the background. They don't have any orbits. Can't you see that? They're not going east to west. They're just going like whichever way that comet pulled them, and then Earth. That's Earth manifesting. And you see how I did the whole thing again? It's just there, like it's like all time repeating and stuff. That's the comet, though. And then look at this. You see, watch. It's like dark, going just whatever. And then you see how they don't have an orbit, and now it's pulling them. Now they're starting to have orbits. All these comets, and another comet, it pulled another comet out of space. Like, you see how it's just like, that's the Milky Way? Milky Way is really just like the, it's actually the asteroid belt more than anything. I remember now. Because the planets were mostly in the atmosphere. Like, you see that where most of that cluster is? That's where the planets that are near the asteroid belt are. So I believe that's the asteroid belt. Milky Way is mostly that, but it's all like multi-dimensional. So it's really just the comet before the comet even manifested it, because that's how crazy the fucking comet is. And then it just pulled everything. Because remember, it's like just showing it repeating. So when you see the Milky Way, that's the comet afterwards. You know what I mean? You're seeing time repeat itself. That's what the Mayans said would happen, and it literally happened in 2007. Told you I watched the 7s, and then it got out on the 25th. It came out of it on the 25th. What's that 7? Number has power, man. God likes to talk through numbers and stuff. And watch, it warps time. You see? Time stopped while I was in it, and until it came out the other end, time didn't start again. It just skipped. Like, and then like I said, the A camera couldn't even see it. I got it on my other video showing that. It couldn't even see this thing. I have it like multiple views of it on my other one, and the other camera couldn't see it. And then this is when Earth manifests. You see how there's a little spirally thing? That's Earth manifesting. It has this big UFO thing behind it. You see it on the left side of the screen? Watch, everything's going, like, it's starting to slow down already. But as soon as Earth pops up, boom. Now everything just straightens out. You see? Now it's going like left to right. Because Earth's putting all of it under its power. Because Earth is like more the, you see? And then it pulls the planets into their orbits and everything. They had no orbit. They were just like formless and void. You know what I mean? Like they were just like this mess out there. But this like grabbed a certain portion of it and made it into like an orbit. This is why we get some comets and stuff that are coming from the north and the south. It's related to that big giant comet. But Earth has pulled most of it east and west. Most of it. And then you got big giant stuff on the right. And all those are the rings of the planets, but it's all Earth at the end of the day. And that's that big giant reflection of Earth on the right. Biggest thing I ever seen on there. Earth's really where it's at. It's totally geocentric. Without a shadow of a doubt. Like, oh, if you're God, what did the beginning of time look like? That's just funny, right? I'm just I'm a son of man. I'm not like, I'm a man, You know, I might be the manifestation of God or something like that, but at the end of the day, God is God, Jesus is God. That's why I said when I came, I'd come and use things of Jesus's.
Yishuang pointed at the man in the suit and cursed. As a fourth-level martial artist, you dare to take advantage of her father's injury to challenge our school. Hong swayed unsteadily as he spoke. Our martial arts school has already agreed not to accept new students for a year. Why would you do this? Lin laughed heartily and replied, since your Red Mountain Martial Arts School dares to hang up a sign, you should be prepared to have it smashed at any time. As he spoke, a surge of aura emanated from Lin, causing the faces of the Red Mountain to slightly change, and they took a few steps back. Hong slowly stood up, nodding. He's right. Since the sign is up, we must have the ability to defend it. Hong had arrived in Whitewater City 20 years ago, alone and relying solely on his own fists to establish this foundation. Suddenly, Hong stood up abruptly and began to gather his strength. With his existing injuries, this exertion aggravated his condition, causing him to cough violently. Seeing this, Ni Shuang quickly reached out to support him, her face filled with worry. Hong extended his hand to stop her, shaking his head to indicate that he was fine. However, Lin, who was nearby, laughed at the scene. An 18-year-old second-level martial artist. Ha! Hong can never teach such a prodigy. Ni Shuang attempted to explain. Lu Sheng is not his student, just a member. Lin forcefully stomped on the ground and shouted, "But y'all used that kid named Lu Sheng to snatch over half of the business from our martial arts schools." Ni Shuang stood in front of her father, stating that the students joined willingly. Lin waved his hand dismissively, showing no concern. He had come today to dismantle the martial arts school so that the students would go back. Ni Shuang seethed with anger, unable to utter a word. She assumed a defensive stance, preparing for battle, while Lin displayed a repugnant expression as if he were grabbing something in the air with both hands. Hong's expression changed as he told Ni Shuang that she was no match for Lin. Lin was a fourth-level martial artist, and even if Hong hadn't been injured, at best, they would be evenly matched. Ni Shuang argued that she was a third-level martial artist, and even though Lin was at the fourth level, their father-daughter combination might not necessarily lose. Lin waved his hand provocatively, taunting her. Ni Shuang glared at him and coldly declared, "Once I bring you down later, I want you to carry the sign of our Red Mountain Martial Arts School and parade through the streets." Lin laughed faintly, his eyes emanating a cold gleam. In the next second, Lin's figure suddenly vanished. Hong shouted for caution, and then two figures fiercely collided. One figure was forcefully thrown back 7 to 8 meters, crashing heavily into the wall. At this moment, Lin was completely different from before, almost like two different people. Hong coughed up blood and his hands trembled, his face filled with astonishment. Lin had unexpectedly broken through to become a fifth-level martial artist. Lin laughed heartily, his overwhelming power and terror making it almost impossible for anyone to catch their breath. Hong's chest heaved heavily as he slowly stood up and spoke, each word enunciated clearly. "You want our martial arts school to shut down, don't you? Fine. I'll go to the Martial Association now and revoke the qualification of our martial arts school." As Hong uttered those words, he seemed to age instantly, as if 10 years had passed, even his back hunched over. Ni Shuang's eyes immediately turned red, overwhelmed with self-blame and guilt. Seeing that his goal had been achieved, Lin smiled and spoke. "In that case, we'll leave for now." With laughter echoing, he walked towards the entrance. However, at that moment, a voice suddenly emerged from the crowd. Everyone paused and instinctively turned to look. They saw a young man with fair skin and a handsome appearance stepping forward. "If the martial arts school that was doing well is now going to close, where am I supposed to train in the future?" he said. Ni Shuang instantly recognized the young man's identity and exclaimed, "Lu Sheng." Lu Sheng waved to Ni Shuang, and in an instant all eyes were fixed on him, filled with curiosity. Lin, on the other hand, had a gleam in his eyes as he assessed Lu Sheng from head to toe. He placed his hand on Lu Sheng's shoulder and chuckled. "Don't worry. After Red Mountain Martial Arts School closes, my martial arts school welcomes you. If you join my school, I'll personally teach you the Iron Mountain secret technique." Lin glanced back and commented that the others were all useless, unable to even handle a single strike. He promised that if Lu Sheng joined his martial arts school, he would personally instruct him in the Iron Mountain secret technique, without keeping any secrets. Lu Sheng seemed to become interested. Seeing this, Lin seized the opportunity and continued, "The Iron Mountain secret technique is an exclusive technique of the Iron Mountain Martial Arts School. Once mastered, it makes the user invincible. Within the same level martial artists, there are few who can break through his defense." Hong's face darkened, but he was unable to retort with any strength. Lu Sheng inquired further, asking, "Why would you use such a powerful technique?" As Lin felt that Lu Sheng seemed somewhat intrigued, his smile grew wider, and he hurriedly replied, "Of course I would be willing. As long as you join our Iron Mountain Martial Arts School and become my disciple, I will wholeheartedly impart my knowledge to you. Lu Sheng took a couple of steps forward, calmly looking at Lin, and casually asked, "So, how do you plan to teach me?" Lin furrowed his brow, thinking to himself why this kid had so many questions. However, considering Lu Sheng's potential, he patiently began to speak. "If you join us, I will..." Lin's words were cut short. Suddenly, Lu Sheng in front of him vanished. In an instant, a terrifying aura, akin to a volcanic eruption, swept over him. Lin's scalp went numb, and his entire body bristled with fear as an overwhelming sense of life and death crisis surged from within him. He roared fiercely, his muscles blackening and swelling, and his body suddenly expanded. Then he forcefully thrust both palms forward. Lu Sheng gave him a thumbs up and said, "Impressive, indeed tough," before gently punching him, causing a series of bone-cracking sounds. The terrifying power contained in Lu Sheng's fist erupted, sending Lin's body flying backward. With a resounding crash, he smashed into the wall, leaving a deep crater as the entire wall shattered. The crisp footsteps echoed in the silent hall. Lu Sheng walked step by step, with a casual posture and an indifferent expression. Looking at the unconscious, eyes rolled back at Lin, he turned his thumb upside down. "How do you plan to teach me?" "By kneeling." At that moment, the entire martial arts gym fell into a dead silence. Lin's students were in disbelief, their jaws dropping. They quickly ran over to help him up and swiftly left the martial arts school. The once invincible and domineering Lin had been blasted into the wall by a single punch. Lu Sheng turned his head and walked towards Ni Shuang, extending his hand to ask if she was all right. Ni Shuang blushed and took Lu Sheng's hand, assuring him that they were fine. Lu Sheng then helped Hong to his feet and advised him not to close down the martial arts school. He said it would be troublesome to find another one far from home. Hong tightly held Lu Sheng's hand, his face filled with excitement. Lu Sheng smiled and remarked that this incident was sort of caused by him. But in a world where martial strength ruled, he told Hong, only the strong will be respected. With everyone in the school's respectful and amazed gazes watching him, he turned around with his suitcase and walked away. Lu Sheng doesn't have any special attachment to Red Mountain Martial Arts School. His main motivation for stepping in was the sponsor fee he received from Ni Shuang a couple of months ago. If Red Mountain Martial Arts School encounters similar situations, Lu Sheng won't intervene. He can protect them once, but he cannot protect them for a lifetime. The two of them looked at Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng pinched his sister's cheek and said that he had earned it himself. Their mother is still worried about whether Lu Sheng's training in the camp was too difficult. However, she brought a large bowl of rice, showing her concern. Their father, on the other hand, had absolute confidence in their child. He said that Lu Sheng would undoubtedly become an extraordinary person, and even if something happens in the future, Lu Sheng will always have his family behind his back. Lu Sheng looked at this scene, and his facial expression gradually softened. He thought to himself that it was for the sake of continuing these ordinary yet heartwarming days that he needed to become stronger, strong enough to protect everything. Lu Sheng sat quietly on the yoga mat in the middle of the room. Soon, he entered a dream state. In the dilapidated streets, the figure of Lu Sheng silently appeared. Corpse after corpse disintegrated into black wisps of smoke and merged into Lu Sheng as he walked along the street, clearing out the zombies. The more zombies he cleared, the more of these black wisps of smoke appeared. The absorption rate couldn't keep up. Suddenly, a level 6 martial artist zombie appeared, and with a single punch, Lu Sheng shattered the obstructing zombie. His expression remained unchanged as he continued forward. With his current strength, even a level 6 martial artist zombie only required a single punch to eliminate. Lu Sheng soon reached the center of the base where the powerful zombie resided. He wasn't sure if he could handle it now, but he hoped to investigate the situation. Suddenly, a long-haired zombie appeared in the sky. Lu Sheng squinted his eyes, examining the appearance of this. It suddenly charged toward Lu Sheng, who was pushed back a few steps by the powerful shockwave. This zombie had long white hair and wore white martial arts attire. Its eyes lacked focus, other than the skin had a lifeless gray color. It was indistinguishable from a normal person. It was a Grand Master level zombie. Liu Shang had absorbed too many memories of battles in a short period of time, and his subconscious urged him to destroy everything. At this moment, the Grand Master level zombie stood quietly in the distance, as if waiting for something. Liu Shang took a deep breath, and the rhythm of his breathing subtly changed. He switched to the wind breathing technique, and a faint green light surrounded his body. In a flash, Liu Shang disappeared from his original position. With a powerful whip kick, he struck the head of the Grand Master level zombie. However, the zombie remained motionless and didn't even flinch. A look of shock appeared in Liu Shang's eyes. He felt as if his leg had kicked into an incredibly thick cushion, and all his strength was absorbed and completely dissipated. He didn't expect the Grandmaster to be this powerful. The extent of its strength was unimaginable. After a tentative strike, Liu Shang no longer held back. He used his tenfold stellar technique, executed the perfect boxing technique, and employed the flame breathing technique. But no matter what kind of attack he unleashed, he couldn't break through the defense of the zombie. It was a wall, a mountain. Liu Shang sensed that there seemed to be an invisible barrier surrounding the Grandmaster level zombie. All his attacks landed on this barrier, and almost 99% of the force was directly dissipated. This was the power field of a Grandmaster, and its strength exceeded Liu Shang's expectations. He was on the verge of running out of ideas. Now he understood why there was such a huge disparity in status between the 6th and 7th levels martial artists, despite only a one level difference.
To anybody that's played a MOBA and gotten to the top 1%, you'll know the difference between that and say like the top 10% when you're like diamond or platinum or something. I think platinum's actually like 20%, something pretty broad. Once you get to that 1%, like this Grandmaster level, man, it's rare, man. And you get to the 0.01 where you're like the absolute top rank, and you're playing with like a room full of people, you know, that kind of stuff. It gets pretty fun. But yeah, that's what he's encountering right here. And the difference is mostly spiritual, because most people fall into that lower percentage because they're lacking spiritual power. And this guy is really gifted spiritually. You know, he's like, you know, mirror my life, you know, like uses the Akashic records, like to see that he gets stronger every time he absorbs stuff. And then also when he does certain breakthroughs in the real world, like the real world enhances his ability in this world, the spiritual world, where he's acting at against a zombie. And then when he like absorbs things that there's no way he could beat in the physical world, but he beats them in the spiritual world, because in the spiritual world they're like zombies to him. They're like dead people. Like he's so spiritually aware. It could be like symbolic, you know what I mean? But like it also could be, these are like really strong spiritual, you know, like they're high level martial artists and stuff like that. So like their power has a different kind of residue compared to those other zombies that are like a typical person, I guess. And it's mostly spiritual power. That's what gives this thing this big aura around it. That's the difference between like a low level, not a low level, but a elite martial artist, which is like 80%. Like he's gonna get into the top 80. You know, he's gonna be like 80% or better, like 20%, top 20. Like that's gonna be an elite. You know, plat, diamond. The difference is spiritual power for the rest. Like to get to that top 1%, like this Grandmaster, or even above, like up to 11, you know, as high as it gets. And that's like 0.001, like that's number one. You know what I mean? Like 0.000000001, you know, like that's crazy stuff. My name is like 1 in a trillion or 1 in a billion. It's like both of them. I don't remember. They kept saying that my name. I was like, yeah, I already know I'm pretty rare or whatever. But yeah, pretty cool. It's cool because the instructor taught me martial arts. He's a grandmaster, and it's like this alpha and omega thing because he first saw this zombie on the first episode, right? And he instinctually knew it because he's psychic or not to mess with it. And now in 6 episodes, and this is the level of 7 zombie he's facing on the 6/7th day. You know, in the Bible, it's got to do with God. You know, when he rested, and then there's eternal reign when he returns exactly 6,000 years later. You know, like on the 7th day. That's just really cool, man. This is rank number 7, all that cool stuff. And it's clear that this zombie is not really fighting against him. It's trying to let him capture it. It'll even smile when he defeats it. It smiles because it's psychic, you know, so it wants him to absorb his power and to defeat the enemy that, you know, it could not, you know, this martial artist, you know, he was all about trying to save his people. So if he can grow up somebody that can cause this to work out, that'd be great. But you know, the real answer, their problem is too few of the people are really strong. Like level 11, you know, or level 12 or whatever. Those are the ones that are really going around making stuff safe, but they can't be everywhere at once. They call them like the supreme elders or something like that. And like that's the issue. But that's what Tesla's ultimate power was. I don't know if he understood it was. It was to make not just one Superman, but to make everybody Superman. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about through genetic manipulation. That might work, but we can tell it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the way they're doing it is not very effective. Like, it's like computer programs that can viruses and stuff. The real way to do it is spiritually, and that's the way God does it. And it's based on the real thing and enhancing its natural functions instead of going against the perfection that God already made it. Like, you have to enhance it. That's all there is to do. Enhance it. That's it. Efficiency. You know, for example, his health is really low because he's just starting to take on this power. Health is what most people work with to build their rank and all this. He was able to have a martial art power like 3 ranks above his because he absorbed these zombies spiritually. And, you know, it's basically just him getting more knowledge. He doesn't have to fight anybody. It's just the way they make the anime interesting, you know? Because really, you know, that's where you get strong. Not when you're necessarily fighting someone. It's when you're fighting yourself. When you're shadow boxing in your head. When you're figuring out all the ins and outs, all your weaknesses and all your strengths, you know? It's that kind of thing that really makes you excellent. And then, you know, obviously, you gotta get practice. You know, all the spirit power in the world without, like, faith, without works is, you know, dead. You know? That's why I was amazed I was able to set that 30 and 40 yard record my first day after building a lot of spirit power for like half a year. And then just trying it on the first day. I hadn't fallen out of shape too bad. I did a little running before, but not much, like a couple runs up the street type of thing. It was enough. I'm doing 100 yard next. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, it's a huge difference when you get there. It's like you go from playing with people that nobody's gonna know to playing with people that are known on by the whole world, you know, like YouTubers and people that should be YouTubers, but they probably don't know how good they are. You know, that's why I like to put my footage up. You know, I've been ranked 1 in a lot of games, so I know what's elite, you know. And it's telling you, it's all mental, bro. It's all strategic, but that's going to get you to elite. But after that, to get past, you have to have spirit power. You have to be just like a freak, you know. You really do. That's like this guy. And I'm amazed that the zombie actually died with such a powerful natural defense. Like this willpower aura that he has around him that is like knocking out 99% of the attack damage. You know, if you got that, of course you beat the other guy that has that kind of power. It's like cheating, you know. And that's why Neo is like he's like a cheater. He's a hacker, you know. And that's basically what I did. I hacked the Matrix. I can make it do what I command and stuff. The only thing that defined is free will. People can do what they want. It's best to go along with the flow though, because I don't be trying to harm people. I ain't gonna gain nothing from harming you. You're gonna want to hurt me and back. I don't try to harm people. I try to help people, and that's the greatest power. I told you, because my outpouring spirit. That's why those in heaven get stronger and stronger and stronger with me. And why they're able to overcome the devil and his angels, and they wouldn't have been able to do it without me. And that's why I got my power when the two witnesses go up. Me and Jesus, Son of Man, the Son of God, fusion high. Make the two witnesses and the God of the whole earth, right? And the man child goes to heaven, shaking the 7,000 die, or whatever in that earthquake. And they're like, oh damn, this is number again. And then they give praise and glory to God or whatever. That's when he takes the power to himself. Because Jesus had it for the most part the whole time. But really, there's a greater power that they had. That's the glory they had before the world was. That's why their glory is interchangeable. You people are stuck in the current, but things happen in the future too. And Jesus is kind of aware of the future, so he talks in a different way. That's why he said they're one and all this stuff that's confusing to people. But now in the future, we can kind of understand it with anime and the science and stuff, the fusions and stuff like that, how it's useful. That's all. I'm pretty sure they got the idea from that too. And they predictably had a Goku Black with the sharp sickle, like the two guys with the sharp sickles, and the Son of Man with the two angels with the sharp sickle. This again, the fusion of the two. They're like, okay, we made these as men, now we're angels with these, and now let's do this thing on the cloud with the two sharp sickles. That's why they had a sharp sword out of each one of their mouths. And then Jesus has, when he comes at the end, with two of them. The great power, the true power. And it crowns from all kinds of worlds, man. Y'all think this is the only one? Why do you think they're united against God? Multi-dimensional war against God. Because God's going to save people from one end of heaven to the other. You think this is the only firm? And I already told you about the Russian dog. From one fractal to the next. Like, it actually gets harder in other worlds, because other worlds, their scaling is so high. Like, I literally was scared at some of them, because even though I'm naturally gifted, my root seems to be this world. This is a possibility, but I've been working on other ones. And the other ones, I was really gifted, but it was scary because I was so alien to me. It was just like the Naruto world, like this ninja world, and everybody was so damn gifted. It was tough. It was tough, man. Like, it was really tough. And yeah. Anyways, I haven't had no issues lately. I've been just kind of coasting. But anyways, this is just to show you the difference between it's spirit power. That's why, like in Hunter x Hunter, that was the difference. Spirit power, like people in the higher elite parts, they have spirit power. It's like chi, that Shaolin monk stuff.
The 7th level could be called a Grandmaster, while no matter.
And it's the Alpha and Omega. Remember, my old instructor, he was a 10th degree, and he wanted me to take over school and all that. I didn't know how good I was back then. Once I was like 25, I understood. Then he tried to tell me to join the military, just like this guy ends up in the military or whatever. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm focused on the spiritual thing. You never know, maybe I will be in the, but to me the more important thing is the Shinigami thing. And I even saw I was a Bleach guy, man. I was going through the walls, jumping through the walls like Superman, like, and I had a sword because I could go through the walls. I was like a ghost. And the guys were chasing me, they had guns. Their bullets would get caught in the walls though. It wasn't like us, so I don't know how they were able to fire bullets that can't go through the wall, but they can go through the wall. I don't know how that works, but that's what I saw happening, and their bullets were getting caught in the walls. And I just had a sword, so like I could like mix them up, just go back on them, and hit them with the sword and all that. Oh, this looks good. Sorry about that. Let me end this real quick. But yeah, I was supposed to stay in school, but let's get to do it at the beginning, because it's all started with martial arts, and then like I started to learn about ki and spirit power through martial arts too. Later on, like around 25 or something. I don't remember. It was like You know, it's basically just like this ninjutsu thing with Naruto type of thing. And it's like kind of like how I shared. You remember how Naruto shared the spirit power? But in the ninja war, like made everybody like have more power. That's basically what I do. And you know, the angels do the fighting and all that kind of stuff. I don't really gotta do much. You know, the words and the commands, they do the work. You know, that's pretty much what it is. You know, I'm very capable, but I'm only one body. You know, so we'll see what it's like on the spiritual side. Should be very impressive based on all the stuff I've seen so far. And all the miracles and all the shaking the heaven and earth and all that, and fulfilling the prophecy I've been known.
No matter what kind of attack he unleashed, he couldn't break through the defense of the zombie. It was a wall, a mountain. Lu Sheng sensed that there seemed to be an invisible barrier surrounding the Grandmaster level zombie.
He's hacking, man.
All his attacks landed on this barrier,
He's cheating.
and almost 99% of the force was directly dissipated.
99%? Come on, bro.
Field of a Grandmaster,
99%.
and its strength exceeded Lu Sheng's expectations. He was on the verge of running out of ideas. Now he understood why there was such a huge disparity in status between the 6th and 7th levels martial artists, despite only a 1-level difference. The 7th level could be called a Grandmaster.
The funny thing is, like, I actually set mine to be like 0.0000001% as far as what they actually get to do. Like, I put so many zeros, it would take up more than people's hard drives to carry that many zeros before that one finally shows up, so that they don't do like nothing. Like they get attacked for the end of eternity and not do 1 damage. That's hilarious, man. That's damage reduction. So, hey, he compared to me, his 99%, he's giving them a chance, you know, because they're doing 1% damage. I'm making them do like 0.000, you know, forever, and then 1. You know, and I can make it actually increase that 000 for eternity if I wanted to. But like him, I like to have a little fun. It's kind of bad having it just, you know, 0. Plus, I don't even know. I don't know if 0 really exists, man. It's such an absolute, man. It's even kind of mind-boggling to me.
While the 6th level could only be considered a martial artist. It was simply because the gap between the two was too vast. However, it seemed that this zombie didn't actively attack Lu Sheng. He felt a bit helpless.
Yeah, it wanted it.
The Grandmaster level zombie didn't seem to consider him a worthy opponent, merely passively defending against his attacks without launching any counterattacks. Otherwise, he would have been killed on the spot. Lu Sheng felt a surge of retreat in his heart, but at the same time he couldn't let go of his unwillingness. Suddenly, he thought of something crucial. If he could defeat this Grand Master level zombie, he would be able to access the memories of the Grand Master. Lu Sheng, having launched nearly 1,000 attacks, was already familiar with the defensive capabilities of the Grand Master level zombie. After a few more attempts, he unexpectedly discovered a slight weakening in the invisible force field surrounding the Grand Master zombie's body. Lu Sheng could feel his stamina rapidly depleting, and a sense of retreat began to rise within him. However, there was also a hint of unwillingness. The level 6 zombies no longer held much value for him in terms of honing his combat skills. Having reached level 3 in his psychic prowess, hunting zombies below level 6 was as effortless as mowing the grass. A single sweep could clear out a dozen. Wait! A sudden realization dawned on Lu Sheng. Psychic strength. Yes, a psychic attack. He had yet to attempt it, to directly assault using his psychic abilities. Lu Sheng had never truly studied the combat techniques of a psychic practitioner, always treating his psychic strength as a secondary support tool. In comparison to his martial prowess, his power in the realm of psychic practitioner was much stronger. As this realization dawned on him, Lu Sheng felt a sudden clarity. His eyes gleamed, and the more he thought about it, the more feasible this approach seemed. With determination, Lu Sheng condensed his spiritual strength into a cohesive force and struck fiercely at the Grandmaster level zombie before him. Just like a physical attack, the moment his psychic strength made contact with the Grandmaster zombie, it encountered an invisible barrier. However, simultaneously, a portion of that invisible barrier was depleted, Startled yet overjoyed, Lu Sheng quickly grasped the situation. The Grand Master's force field was an external manifestation of their willpower, which essentially was their psychic strength at the Grand Master level.
You see, it's willpower, man. It's intention. That's the greatest power we have. It's a type of psychic thing. That's what makes it like a person, certain people able to run faster than other people. It's actually psychic, believe it or not. It's a spiritual thing. It's built up in them from experience, memories, genetic memories. It's blueprints, Remember that. It's a part of their willpower. Like, think about it. Like, what's the reason the other person can lift more than the other person? They feel like it, right? Like, you can feel it, man. Like, you will it. When you move your arm, you don't think about it, you just do it. And the more you feel like you can do it, that's like how your body comprehends it. That's the simplest way I could put it. And memory and all that is a big factor. Spiritual memory is going to be there even if you don't even comprehend it. It'll be subconscious. And it'll be there like waiting for you. Like, you know how in the Bible it says your works will follow you? That's what it's talking about. Like, it'll compound. And that's why when he hits them with these attacks, they get stronger and stronger, because that's how the power works. It's holy, 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 remember? Holy means infinite, dedicated. It means dedicated. AKA infinite, like it's 3 different holies, Infinite possibility, consistency, and it's constant. It's like all different possibilities, and it's constantly growing, and it has infinite scale. Those are the 3. So when he attacks, it gets stronger in the second one, and then the third and the fourth,
Quickly grasped the situation. Grand Master's force field was an external manifestation of their willpower, which essentially was their psychic strength at the Grand Master level. Without further delay, Lu Sheng swiftly manipulated his psychic strength, repeatedly assaulting the force field of the Grand Master level zombie. The Grand Master's force field rapidly diminished as it consumed energy, thinning at a perceptible speed to Lu Sheng's constant attacks. With each usage of his psychic strength, Lu Sheng grew more proficient in this straightforward and aggressive technique. Moreover, he could sense that his psychic attacks grew stronger with each attempt. At this moment, the Grand Master level zombie appeared significantly weakened compared to its initial state, according to Lu Sheng's perception. The Divine Pluto technique surged within Lu Sheng, amplifying his blood energy level. 2 hearts thumped in his body as his blood energy level roared. Alongside with tenfold stellar technique, switching to the flame breathing technique, perfect fist technique. Radiant light blossomed in Lu Sheng's eyes as he raised his right fist high. With great force, he struck the head of the Grand Master level zombie with all his might, finally penetrating its invisible barrier. The Grand Master's not so sturdy body swayed and staggered backward under the impact of Lu Sheng's punch. A hint of guilt rose in Lu Sheng's heart. Throughout the entire encounter, the Grand Master level zombie hadn't attacked him even once. It was always Lu Sheng who initiated the attacks. The spirit lives on. I shall inherit your will, Lu Sheng silently recited in his mind. The Grand Master level zombie, seemingly relieved, gave him a smile.
See?
Then its body rapidly decayed, and a thick black line of smoke emerged from its body. Like a black python, it...
You see, he inherited the zombie's will. What was the zombie all about? You're about to find out. It's basically the same thing. It's not that bad future they saw.
viciously crashed into Lu Sheng's body. Memories flew into Lu Sheng's mind. Shi Sheng Ning, congratulations on reaching level 7. From this day forward, you may be hailed as a Grandmaster. The situation is worsening. Despite the efforts of the Stellar Realm Elders running around tirelessly, more and more bases are falling. Base number 100.
You see the Stellar Elders, you know, they're running around all over the place, right? See, that's the issue. And that's what I solved. You know, their problem is they can't be everywhere at once, right? But what if you could, like Tesla said, make everybody into Superman or the stellar elders or whatever they're called in this anime. Uh, this it would be unstoppable. They wouldn't have to be everywhere at once. You know, there wouldn't be a threat to them. They'd be bugs to these people. You know, they'd be like ash under their feet, just like the Bible said. It's just like when the one chick was trying to use her psychic force to like kind of mess with his head to see what, like, if he was psychic. He didn't even notice what she was doing, and so like she didn't even know he was psychic, because I don't know, like her power wasn't on the scale that he could register. This is just funny, like it was a little bit of luck.
Located at the center of the martial art associations is the safest place in the world. I have arranged for an aircraft. You will depart this afternoon. Dad, aren't you coming with us? A young girl said. He gently smiled and said, as a Grandmaster, I must stay at the forefront and fight until the last drop of blood for the human race. Despite being a level 7 Grandmaster, witnessing a level 9 monster filled him with fear and dread. Suddenly, a man defeated the level 9 beast with a single punch. That man was Wang He. Shi Shengning comprehended a completely new martial technique from Wang He's attack. Just when he thought he could aspire to reach the realm of a level 8 Grandmaster in his lifetime, he felt a sharp pain in his chest. His heart had been ripped out. He felt cold. He felt pain. Was this the sensation of death approaching?
Well, that explains how he went down. I was thinking it's gotta be like a level 9 monster or 10 or some shit. Goodness gracious, I thought the other one was bad. Yep.
It is said that the Martial Art Association has initiated the Fire Seed Plan, gathering the collective strength of the entire human race to create an unprecedented level 12 powerhouse. Hopefully they will succeed. Unfortunately, he won't be able to witness it anymore. The amount of memories absorbed by Lu Sheng surpassed any previous instance. Countless fragmented scenes flashed rapidly through his mind. The life of this Grandmaster, what a legendary and splendid existence he was. A wealth of martial experiences and combat skills flooded Lu Sheng's mind, which he quickly assimilated. Lu Sheng was fortunate because the Grandmaster named Shi Shengning had specialized in fist techniques during his lifetime. His skills and combat experiences gradually merged into Lu Sheng's body, becoming a part of his being, the lifelong learning of the Grandmaster Shi Shengning. This rapid assimilation propelled his advancement. The mastery of combat techniques, honed through countless life and death battles against the monsters, was now flawlessly inherited by Lu Sheng. Wang He. Lu Sheng captured this name within Shi Shengning's memories. It seemed to hold significant importance to Shi Shengning. In the final memories of Shi Shengning's Grandmaster life, aside from his wife and children, this name was mentioned the most. And coincidentally, Lu Sheng knew this name. The creator of the stellar body refining technique is named Wang He. Shi Sheng.
You saw them Earths? Remember the 10 suns? I told you, like, in this... That's the whole point of this anime. Like, not the whole point, but... Like, I got more than 10 suns, I bet. And now I showed you earlier, right? There's the Earths, too, you see? I'm showing you these Earths all around them. And that's where it started with the Earths and stuff, the stellar...
The mastery of combat techniques, honed through countless life and death battles against the monsters, was now flawlessly inherited by Lu Sheng. Wang He. Lu Sheng captured this name within Shi Shengning's memories. It seemed to hold significant importance to Shi Shengning.
That's the one with the 10 suns.
In the memories of Shi Shengning's Grandmaster life, aside from his wife and children, this name was mentioned the most.
I think it was his Grandmaster.
Knew this name.
That's the Earth.
The creator of the stellar body refining technique is named Wang He. Shi Shengning seems to have been inspired by witnessing Wang He's martial prowess and created an extremely powerful martial art. But why can't he find it?
Inspired by that.
Puzzled, continuously searching through.
He was inspired by the guy of all the Earths around him, right? So, what are these suns? You see, it's the same thing as Earth. It's hilarious.
Shi Shengning's memories. Just then, he
ask yourself how all these animes just keep telling you the same thing I've been telling you, like over and over again.
Noticed a golden dot appearing within the memory fragments. In an instant, a memory scene that Lu Sheng had never seen before unfolded in his mind. It was a vast, desolate wilderness. Thick black mist permeated the surroundings. Countless indiscernible beasts and Mazenters surged out from the earth and sky, tearing through the black mist. A profound sense of despair enveloped Lu Sheng's heart. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared in his field of vision. This figure moved at an incredible speed, radiating brilliant golden light, akin to the rising sun. 10 suns simultaneously appeared in the dim sky. Incredibly dazzling suns. Golden suns, boundless golden radiance illuminated
Wow.
everything, causing tears to flow from Lu Sheng's eyes. He struggled to widen it.
You see, that's Lu, the guy that he just the Grandmaster Zombie he just beat. He was a little kid right here or something like that, and then he's watching this other Grandmaster like that's level 7, and he's taking on a hell of a zombie. I mean, like, I don't know, a zombie, but a monster. You see that monster? Big giant monster? Like, the whole world is looking sad off
A
that.
memory scene that Lu Sheng had never seen before unfolded in his
This
mind.
dude's only level
It was a
7 doing
vast,
that? Wow.
desolate wilderness. Thick black mist
I want
permeated
to see
the
a level 8.
surroundings. Countless indiscernible beasts and Mazenters surged out from the earth and sky, tearing through the black mist. A profound sense of despair enveloped Lu Sheng's heart. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared in his field of vision. This figure moved at an incredible speed, radiating.
Dude is basically at an angelic level. Like, that's what an angel is like. They beam off light like that. Like, they're one with the light. Like, that's basically like an angel's level. Like, damn, so. Whew, that's what a living one looks like, huh? Jesus. What is sleeping like a zombie version of him? Basically had that big old aura. He's basically angel-wise alive. That's crazy.
Radiating brilliant golden light, akin to the rising sun. 10 suns simultaneously appeared in the dim sky. Incredibly dazzling suns, golden suns, boundless golden radiance illuminated everything, causing tears to flow from Lu Sheng's eyes.
That guy had to have been
He
close
struggled
to an 8.
widen his eyes, but could only see a sea of golden light. It was unknown how much time had
He
passed.
probably was an
The
8 or a
golden light
9.
gradually faded, and Lu Sheng's vision returned.
Maybe more.
He saw that the countless beasts that had previously covered the sky and the pervasive black mist had all vanished. The entire world appeared empty and desolate. As the 10 suns appeared simultaneously in the sky, rivers dried up, the earth cracked, and
Considering there's 10 suns, I would assume maybe a level 10.
infinite light and heat burned everything. Grandmaster Shi Shengning exhausted his lifetime of talent and painstakingly studied, pouring
Oh, I see. He could have been any level because he could have been a 10 or even an 11 because, damn, that's crazy powerful. Like, it reminds me of the guy in Bleach. The guy in Bleach, the head captain Yamato or whatever his name is. That dude had fire everywhere, bro. He could put fire everywhere. That dude was broken. Like, they had to get real technical to beat him. But yeah, that guy was. This reminds me of that with the fire everywhere and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this guy could have been any level. I'm just realizing that. I forgot Grandmaster goes from 7 to 11. Told you was the 7s and 11s. I can't wait to see this guy go beyond all their levels. I want to see how high it goes. It's just that they already doing this kind of crazy stuff. Like, really interested.
pouring his heart and soul into it, even with the intention of reaching the pinnacle of the 8th level Grandmaster. The supreme technique he sought to achieve was called the 10 Suns in the Sky. Back home, Lu Sheng felt that there had been a qualitative change in his psychic power. If Ling's psychic power was like air and Snowy's was like water, then Lu Sheng's felt like a solid steel ball. Both in terms of mass and hardness, it was much stronger. While experimenting with his latest psychic power, he accidentally lifted a nearby tall building. Cold sweat streamed down his face as people inside the building panicked and fled. How did it float up? Lu Sheng awkwardly set the building back down. He felt as if he had broken through a certain level and was no longer an ordinary martial artist. He was confident that with the oppressive force of his psychic power alone, he could kill a 3rd or even 4th level martial artist just by stare at them. Additionally,
I believe
a
it.
faint aura of a force field appeared around him. Of course, it was weak and faint. If the force field of the previous Grandmaster Zombie was an ostrich egg, his was an ordinary chicken egg. Although it was currently just a seed, it would eventually grow into a towering tree.
Yep.
Lu Sheng sat in his seat at the restaurant, eagerly awaiting his meeting with the person in charge of the pharmacy. Since leaving the training camp, he had been deprived of his daily supply of exotic beast meat, and he was in desperate need of supplements to assist in his cultivation. Soon enough, a breathless woman hurriedly ran over. She had been anxious all along, as she had been waiting for this day for a long time. She had thought that all hope was lost. However, there was a glimmer of hope as the situation took a turn. Surprisingly, the other party took the initiative to propose a collaboration with her. Upon seeing only a young student in the room, she breathed a sigh of relief. If it was just Lu Sheng, a high school student, then it would be easier to handle. She was confident that they could successfully reach a collaboration in her fate.
Oh, let me get out of here. Let's talk about some funny stuff. It's basically he made this elixir and stuff, and they want to try and make money off of it. That's what this 10 Sons were about. You're seeing it in that, and you're seeing it in this right here. Remember, all those suns around the sun, and they were like non-reflective. Not reflective, but they're supposed to be non-luminous, but they look pretty luminous to me. Gotta be at the right place at the right time. The wheels within the wheels, remember? Reality looks so much cooler. This reality is like very misunderstood. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see it a little better. It's a really cool video. It's a lot more than 10 though. That part where it shows up. And you see the concave earth? Look at that. See the light? I love that. That's why it's curving up at the edges, because concave, man. Fractal. And now we get to the part where you get to see all these other ones. Skip ahead. You can see it pretty clearly at certain angles too. Like that one. Looks like a constellation, but it's different. Very different. I've definitely seen those things. There's a lot more than those, but those look bigger than the ones I see. I've seen those at other times, but not that clearly. And that's like how I've seen it before. That's gotta be like 30 suns, bro. What if like the guy ends up getting to level 30 or something like that? Oh, that'd be crazy, or 24 or whatever, something crazy. You saw how many there really were though? That's what I'm used to seeing them like. Not this, that's what they look like, but that part where it showed a whole bunch of them. Let me just go back like this. Saw all those reflections over there just before that? That's what I'm talking about. Look at all those. It shows them at another angle too. Yeah, like right there. Shows it a few times in here. It's amazing perception, everything, man. Perspective, angle of observation, all matters. Yeah, that's so many of them right there. That's so cool. Wish this thing would just let me do this without that part at the top of the screen popping up. It has to be like, I don't know. It have to be like 30. I have a feeling there's more and they're like it's more off camera. Like you're not seeing every single one of them. There's a lot more that are not on the camera. But alright, on to the next stuff. Get this over. That's pretty cool. Their face from the sun.
Right now, something captured in the sky. Multiple videos in this episode, so buckle up, everybody. Let's get rolling right now. What are we looking at? A chemtrail, contrail, whatever you call it. It's a moment in time. You don't see this every day. Something happened in the sky. It was captured on video. We see this tail, this trail leaving cast a shadow above the cloud layer, including the sun at the perfect moment to highlight it. Is there something ET in nature, or is there something natural right now? Yeah, it's pretty curious weather phenomenon we're looking at here. It looks like a tear in the sky, and then here's another one that just popped up on our feed. Again, people might look at
that one looks
weather
really cool.
that happen around the world, and people might misidentify.
Look at all that movement, dude. That's a portal.
It happens all the time. This is a great.
It's like a million angels coming out of that.
Transports us to something that we've never seen before. This is what we're looking at right here. Great capture.
Let me slow that down for you.
We love anything that transports.
I want y'all to see all that movement that's in there. Like, this happens like around stars and stuff like that. Not stars, but like the sun. Stars too. You have to be big ones though. They have to be like look at that. See all this stuff coming out of it? And far away you really can't see it that well. But there's gotta be like a million of them. Jeez Louise. It's a portal, bro. I bet it made it sound too. The next one's pretty obvious. I'm just gonna let them talk, so that's enough of that. Let's just hear what they gotta say and I'm gonna end it.
This could be kind of a prism effect. Phase Moon, Blake Cousins, we've got a special report for you tonight. We're looking at the phenomenon right now. Something captured in the sky. Multiple videos in this episode, so buckle up, everybody. Let's get rolling right now. What are we looking at? Chemtrail, contrail, whatever you call it. It's a moment in time. You don't see this every day. Something happened in the sky. It was captured on video. We see this tail, this trail leaving casted shadow above the cloud layer, including at the perfect moment to highlight it. Is there something ET in nature, or is there something natural right now? Yeah, it's pretty curious weather phenomenon we're looking at here. It looks like a tear in the sky, and then here's another one that just popped up on our feed. Again, people might look at these weather phenomena that happen around the world, that people might misidentify these phenomena as UFOs. It happens all the time. This is a great capture, though. We love anything that transports us to something that we've never seen before. This is what we're looking at right here. Great capture. Yeah, I'm speculating here that this could be kind of a prism effect, or it might be a little.
There ain't no prism. Get out of here.
Circumstance,
No.
Spirit in the Sky. It sounds like a song. It is a song. We're looking at it. We're getting a close-up look at it. We can see it resembled like a cross or a humanoid. The arms spread out. You have this apparition up in there. And right now, the camera person who shot this was wondering what the heck is it. And I'm so glad that he actually captured this. And we're looking at it right now for the world to see the phenomenon. It's real. There's no CGI here. This is straight up legitimate footage. The question again is on what's causing this phenomenon. Is it something from another dimension? Some people might speculate. I'm not leaning towards that, but you just never know where these sightings come in and out of, and how people are just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. Now, this episode's
Clouds of glory, man.
phenomenon. We've got another one, but Brent, quickly, what's your take on this?
Yeah, we're going on to the next video in just a second. I'm saying this is legit. Great capture. We don't know what it is. It could be a weather phenomenon, but man, again, we got the best UFOs.
Oh, wow. What the hell is this?
Straight. And here's another one.
It's another
that just
portal.
came in, and take a look at this. People are saying that this looks like a portal that's opening up.
Yeah, it's a portal.
Look at it, Brent. It's pulsating. And
I didn't even know this one was on here. Wow.
Triple action to it right now. We're looking at it. It's on the horizon. It's off at the distance. This thing. is
That's
like
basically a sun.
at least, I don't know,
Suns are portals.
film-sized event here. This thing is again off at the horizon, so it could even be larger than this. Some people are speculating that this could be a SpaceX malfunction or
Because remember when that object went through the sun acted like a portal. It teleported the thing and stopped time. And teleported it to the other end of the object. And that space was the distance in time that was erased. That's crazy, right? So space and time are interrelated because of things like suns, like portals. Because their space is like a void in time. It could be like a black hole, I guess.
something we don't see what's indicated at the moment, but maybe we'll find out tomorrow. We're putting it out there, trying to get answers in regards to this capture.
I like this one. I don't want to hear their gibberish about it being some SpaceX bull crap. These guys are such an astards, man. They believe everything they told. Well, not everything, but they're pretty good. That's why I follow them. They gotta have a more open mind, man. They try to say that other was a prism. Yeah, right. If they had infinite particles of light and basically angels coming out of it, like very ferociously, not ferociously, but like very rapidly. There's this kind of stuff. I've just been kicking this stuff up. I'm pretty sure they came up with that alien deception. They purposely leaked that bullshit, man. Oh, we're gonna create fake aliens. Yeah, right. Y'all gonna try to fool people into fighting God. That's what you dumbasses are trying to do. I don't even care when you lose your evil little buddies in control up there. Like for the first, God knows how many years in NASA and your cover up of Roswell, where you summoned those demons. Like, well, now as God's angels, you got a problem, huh? You shouldn't have started nothing if you ain't want nothing, buddy. Yeah, keep trying to shoot them down, man. I heard about y'all shooting them down lately, have I? Yeah, this guy told them to shoot back. Yeah, I know damn well. That's why they ain't off the coast no more. They can hang out wherever they want. They ain't gotta go around the coast like they did when I didn't tell them to do that. Now they fight back, they right over top.